Good morning. We're from Boskell. Boskell being the name of this place. Just got the dogs following me around the field here right now. People do ask what it is, and they ask for a bit of news, and well, here it is. And also it's really good for us to keep track of what we do, what it's looking like, things like that. Been doing a lot of work. I hope the sun doesn't blind you or anything. Up there at the top of the field, mostly past those two trees. I can't go up there because somebody somewhere has got a radio on, which is a bit weird. So the music, you know. Top of the field, a couple of years ago, it was more or less dead. We had a few things up there, but not much, like bits of grass and a few weeds. So been cutting that for the last couple of years, about once a year, really, twice a year even. And just letting the dead stuff start working on biomatter for the top, which is doing really well. It looks even better from down here, but it is pretty good. This stuff, I cut this down here. Oh, there's one of the dogs. That's Elmo. He's a corgi. Not the Queen's type, or the late Queen's type, but a different subcategory. They're bred as working dogs on a farm. There he is. So yeah, cutting like from there, that little shelter thing, or which is for the horse, but he didn't use it. Sort of all the way up to about here. I cut this, and then all the hay we got, I took it up the top, or a lot of it. I took it up the top, and spread it around. It's just all about adding biomatter up there. By the way, what you can see is we've got our field, well, here, and it goes to the bottom-ish over there. So fairly big. It's got one horse in it that belongs to a neighbour, and that one's going soon because the neighbour's a pain in the ass and causing us a lot of problems. So the horse has to go. But anyway, so down there, can't remember what I was going to tell you now. One of the jobs I do, I spend a lot of time doing, I do refer to it from time to time, is cutting fire breaks. We cut about 3 or 4 meters roughly. So I'll go from that fence to sort of to this path, I suppose, and down, and then underneath the branches of the trees is more. So it goes all the way out from the tree to the furthest branch, and fire break is just very short grass. Some of it just looks like dirt. So I've been cutting down there, and I've cut all the way up to the top. This is, I think, I was kind of part of a garden, really. This along the track, the road, and so cut all that. There's a pile of bamboos. We got trouble. Well, no, we have to keep bamboos under control, and we get dead stuff we cut off, and where do you put it? Yeah, well, the answer is there. So yeah, what I was saying is we got this these farm buildings next to us. Nobody lives in them or anything. There's not a house. There is a little bit further down, there's a village with like little tiny houses where the workers stay or live. Down there, far distance is some drying houses, because they have tobacco here, and they used to dry it before it got taken away. I think these days they just throw it all in the back of a lorry. So tractor down there, because he's getting ready for this year's crop. They'll be planting that any time now. These like greenhouse things there for asparagus. The other crop around here is paprika and sheep. That's what that big green field is up there. That he'll be letting his sheep into there very soon. He's already moved them in up to the top, those little buildings up there. Don't know what he keeps in there. But anyway, so when I talk about cutting the grass, this is what I cut. I go round the fire break once now. This is early April. And I'll go round again about the middle of May before we go over to England for the summer, and cut it a second time. If I do it twice, it's quite quick. But if I do it, if I wait and do it once, you get, they call it standing hay. It's basically the grass gets really tall. It's hard to see here, but it does. And then dies, and it looks like hay standing hay. So fire break here, fire breaks down there. We got a big garden, so I got to cut that, all with a strimmer. Don't use any machines or anything here. It's not, this ground is very uneven, and there's a lot of stones, and you can't really take a machine over it. Even a tractor has problems because it's the other stones and things. So anyway, maybe one day. I'm working on flattening it out a bit, but it's not easy. So that's the field really for now. Oh, let me show you the corner. So on the way down, and I came across two little dogs. So here's our two Jack Russells. Oh my God. Okay, well, they're both ladies, girls, but, oh, thank you, that's better. Poppy's the black and brown and the tricolour one on the left, and on the right is Becca. Poppy's mine, Becca's my wife's. This is a fig tree. Anyway, I saw them. I thought I'd give you a look, so you know what I'm talking about. And there is the corgi moving. He does sometimes. As little as possible, but he does. There's another one of the jobs that we have to do, is clear around the bottom of the trees every year. It's hard work. It's hard work. We love it. We love it. So we'll keep doing it. We do pay. We're getting somebody to come and do these. He's like 50 euros or something, and he'll clear around the bottom of the trees. We got a couple of trees over there that fell over. Those kind of, what do we call them? Conifers? Evergreen? I don't know. And we've got to plant something over there too, eventually. One of the problems we do have here, oh well, problems, yeah, I suppose it is really. These little trees, we're not allowed to cut them down. They're very strict. You need to ask permission to cut anything down bigger than sort of your arm, basically. There's a little one over there. We could cut that one down. So we've cut down loads here around the trees, but we have to stop at some point. So there's always like extra ones that we don't really want. It's a funny thing. You've even got to get somebody to declare a tree dead so that you can cut that one down. Funny, isn't it? Here's the house again. House used to be a school and a church. You can't see the church bit, and I don't even know which bit the school was in. But there we are, built by the owner of the estate that used to have this place in the village, called a finca. And it's so built for the people who lived in the village, but now they're all Muslims. So we live in the church. Right, well here we are. This is what we refer to as the small field, or the little field, or the bottom field, because it's at the bottom of the hill, the last bit. That white building's the well. There's a well in there, big hole in the ground. That's about it. We've got to have a lid put on that. This fence is new, went up about a year ago. The horse is wrecking it. The owner of the horse is supposed to be fixing it up. Was told to put up something. Around here you see this thing is just basically a bit of wear between some metal poles here. It's white tape. There's nothing electrical about it, or even string. So the horse just ignores it and goes in there and wrecks the fence. But I don't know. I could give you a list of things not done by the owner, but never mind. So this one anyway, I got to cut this small field. short and tidy up all these branches and things. We thinned out you see those trees just before the house. We thinned them out. We took down about 10 or 12 small-ish trees. They're a little bit bigger than we were supposed to cut down, but those trees were so closely bunched up, they were dying, some of them. Most of what I cut down was dead or dying, so we hope that by giving more space to the remaining trees, they will grow and be a bit more healthy. Also over there, we're going to dig a natural wildlife pond thing over there. There's an old swimming pool at the top that we can't use anymore, and we're going to cover that over. Well, there's a lot of wildlife lives in it, so we'll move that into the wildlife pond. That's the plan. Whether it will ever happen, God knows, because it's going to be quite a big, well, a big pond. I can't dig it. We've got to pay somebody else to do it. Anyway, so more grass. I've got to cut this. There's a fire break goes around here as well. Look, not a very wide one. You can sort of see where it was last year. Sounds awful cutting a fire break, but it's not that hard. This grass here grows really big, really tall. So it doesn't really, you wouldn't think so looking at it now, but it's hell to cut it in the summer. It's so tall. You get a bit of an idea of it, I suppose, in there. Thinking of it, we were saying yesterday, or the day before, how much the horse does towards keeping the grass short. But if you compare that in there, where the horse has not been for about a year, with outside, it's not that different. I think we can keep the field controlled. I don't know. I hope so. We're never sure. You see that there's like a house. There's a house there, but it's never. We don't think anyone lives in it. I don't know what it is. Whether it's like a weekend place. I don't know. But then, would you put a weekend place in amongst all these buildings? I don't know. Kind of interesting. Curious. Yeah, this used to be. I mentioned a finca, F-I-N-C-A. And it's like it's basically a country estate. So there's thousands of hectares, or it was, and a big bit of this got sort of passed over. The owners of the estate owed a lot of money to the workers, so they gave a bit of land to the workers instead of money. Yeah, so that's what you see here. This is a co-op thing, cooperative farm. Maybe that used to be the farm. I don't know. People around here, I find it's kind of different. In England, you'll have a farm, and living on the farm is a farmer. Here, what often happens, you have a farm and nobody living on it. People live away from it in a village. So you have like a number of farms around here, say, and then up the road behind me, there's a village, or you can see there's a village over there as well. So these villages, you get all the people who work on the farms live in the villages. So the farmer lives in a village and the farm workers live in a village, rather than living in a house on the farm. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but not like England, you have a farm with a farmhouse. Yeah, you just have fields. These buildings are kind of well, never mind. They're beautiful over there. We thought about buying this field as well, down there. So I know this video's going on a bit. This field, excuse me, maybe I'll edit it. Look at this barbed wire on the ground. You know, you're not allowed to put barbed wire between fields. I'm going to have to move that in a minute or two. That's the horseman. Look, you're not allowed to use barbed wire anymore. You can't buy it. That's terrible. Look at this fence. All right. So this one, it's never used at all. They cut it every year, but you never get anything in there. No sheep, no anything. But if you see our house, you can't see there's a tree in the way, but basically our house goes within about like 3 meters of this field, and we thought if we could buy a little bit of this field as a kind of barrier, like give us a bit more space behind the house. Maybe not all of it. I wouldn't mind having sheep, but not a lot. We'd have to pay somebody to look after them. Look at this. It's supposed to be a fire break. This is where I'll be. Oh dear. I don't know. It's a lot more healthy than over there. You see that field over there? Completely dead. Nothing has been there for about 6 months. They'll be planting tobacco in it soon. All they do is they spray it with fertilizer. They grow stuff. They harvest it. In the middle of it, they spray it with insecticide. They spray it with God knows everything, and they don't put any biomass in it. There's no there's no plants that grow there. There's 6 months and there's nothing growing in it. Completely dead. Yeah. Anyway, mountains. I'll just show you the garden very quickly and then we'll stop. Oh, and I'll show you the internet thing. It's cool. All right, back of the house first, and here's the swimming pool. I don't know how well you can see because the exposure, but it's just a swimming pool full of crap at the bottom, like dead leaves and things. I don't know. I'm gonna guess at least 15 years since it was used, because it was this place was empty for 10 years before we moved in. We've got, oh god, dog shit everywhere. That's the church bit, which is the like sitting room area, and over there on the side is a little house thing, little bit shed, whatever, and that is we got in there a wood chip burning thing that gives us heating and hot water if we want to. This is the internet. This thing stuck in the middle of the lawn, and it's a satellite thing. It does move, but during the day, from time to time, it'll point in a slightly better direction, so it gets the best signal. And there's just an electric cable going over there and plugged in the wall, and then there's a Wi-Fi router between this thing and the wall, and that's it. Simple as that. And I have to connect by Wi-Fi, so we will get it put up on a pole like that, but eventually. But it's new, we've only had it a week, so that will come. So if it looks a mess, it's a mess inside as well. It's a project, would you say, under ongoing thingy or something like that. Trying to remember, what is this, figs? I don't know. Something, olives, got an olive tree, and then something else in the middle that I don't know the name of. Another thing. And there's the field. Right, here's the other side. I've got to cut this in a minute, some other stuff, but this is our drainage stroke sewage disposal thing. It's three tanks, so it goes into this one, biodegrades, bacteria stuffy thing, and then somehow moves into the middle one where it gets even more treated stuff, and at the end where the 3 pipes are. We found out a couple of days ago, we had the builder over, and we found out why we got these long pipes. You need to have some sort of ventilation in the last bit, and they're long to stop the snakes getting in, which is interesting. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, and there's that sheep field. This is the yeah, look at that. Hello, Bobby. This is the front garden, more grass. And it goes all the way up. You can see my wife's up there doing something to the road, the lane. There's lots of dry bamboo leaves and things like that there. So here is the front garden, and the car, and the front of the house. It's we've got 4 bedrooms, 2 small, no, 3 small, 1 big, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, 4 bedrooms. Downstairs is like a tiny room which we don't really do anything with, which is like a sitting room, I suppose, but very small. And then at the end is a kitchen. That's it. None of it's finished. I don't know if it'll ever be finished, but we're having fun. Right, I better go. Things to do. See you. Well, next time I stream. And a bit on the end, just the sitting room, the church used to be, and where I stream from, where that lamp is over there. That's my PC, big TV, floor. Don't know. People don't have carpet very much here in Spain. Well, in general, yeah, you have like a rug or square carpet like that, because it's not too difficult to stay warm, but it's very hard to stay cold or cool in the summer, and this worked wonderfully for that. And we've got a big fireplace and central heating, so we can cope. Yeah, that's all.